morning. It's turned out nice again. Motherfucker, it's Tuesday, the 18th of May, 2021. And you're watching KopTalk, that TV array. How's it going, guys? You all right? Listen, I wanted to talk to you today about Ibrahima Konate, the centre-back that we expect to sign for Liverpool. There's been a lot of speculation about him, a lot of premature claims suggesting that he had, already agreed to sign for us. I mean, there's a little bit of truth in that, if you like, but no deal had been done. The suggestion was that it was all done and they were waiting to announce it, etc., etc. I don't believe that to be the case, and I thought that since it's been a while, I thought we'd have a little chat about his situation. I've got a few things open on my computer screen, some notes that I want to discuss with you. So let's just go through the whole thing again, if you like. 21 years of age, centre-back, plays for Leipzig. He's played for France from the under-16s right through to the under-21s. It says he's got 12 caps here for the under-21s. Born in France, he's of Malian descent, and he is, of course, a youth international for France. That's all it says, really, on his Wikipedia. He's under contract until 2023, but he does have this release clause. Now, this release clause has been various figures depending on who you believe. I think it's been as high as 35 million sterling or something like that, and suggestions that it's even as low as 28 million pounds. I would say it's around the 30 million mark. That seems to be what people that I pay attention to seem to be saying anyway. So obviously Liverpool can pay that amount and force a transfer through. Now, I'm told, or I'm led to believe, that the reason that the deal has not been finalised is because of the way that the deal would be structured, therefore how that amount would be paid. Usually you buy a player and you would pay the fee over the duration of his contract, for example. However, this release clause, what Leipzig are trying on, or what they're trying to do is say, right, you activate the release clause, we want all that money in one go. And that is why, in my opinion, we are not really seeing any progress on that front at the moment. But I do expect that we will see something, and I do think it'll go through, guys. I actually do believe that. One important point I want to make with you, and we discussed this on the KopTalk podcast yesterday. If you enjoy my videos, I do a podcast several times a week. I try and get 5 episodes out a week. Sometimes I do 3, something like that. Depends how much news there is. But we discussed him yesterday. We discussed this agency yesterday, Stellar Sports, because we were linked with James Ward-Prowse, at Southampton, central midfield player, and we were talking about the association of agents and that. So obviously what I do is when we're linked with a player, or there is chatter or a suggestion that we are involved with a player or want a player, I always look up the agent straight away, or the agency, because sometimes that can give you an indication as to how not how easy the deal would be to broker, but it's better to have a good relationship, an existing relationship with an agency. So if that agency represents some Liverpool players, for example, there's probably a good chance that there's a good friendship or relationship there. If it's a super agent that's maybe dragged, I'm thinking of who is it? Raiola, is it? Fat boy who makes me look thin-ish. He's notorious super agent, and if we were linked with a player, and then I look up and see, that he's the agent, say, with Haaland, for example, straight away I'm thinking, this is going to make things a lot more difficult. Liverpool won't want to do business with him. So we came up, like I say, we were linked yesterday, or we were talking about James Ward-Prowse, because there was a suggestion by Garth Crooks that he was the ultimate Liverpool player. He was the perfect Liverpool player. So we looked up, who represented him, saw it was this agency, Stellar Sports, and I made the connection to Konate, and I was like, oh, that's good, there's already a bit of a relationship there. And also, which is worthy of interest, is that the same agency also represent Konate. Remember the centre-back from, is it Marseille, I think, that we looked at last year and also in January of this window. Now, The suggestion is that that interest has probably cooled. Liverpool do have a short list, apparently, of 5 defenders, which is not a very short list, is it? I keep thinking, but we're told that there's a short list of 5, and obviously Ibrahima Konate is the main man. He is top of that list, and I expect Konaté will be on there as well. So I just wanted to mention the agency as well with all of this, because you might hear, specific, licensed agents from that organisation being in talks with Liverpool or whatever, and it's just interesting that there is a few players in there that we have been linked with, and I always think that's a good sign when you see a bit of chatter linking us with these players, because you just think, well, there is a relationship there, they are having meetings and things like that. So anyway, that's just a side thing really, it's not really to do with this video. I just remember mentioning it in the podcast yesterday. So the KopTalk podcast, you can download an app for your phone called Pocket Casts, and just search KopTalk on there if you like, or any podcast app. You'll be able to get it from it's not called iTunes now, is it Apple Podcasts now? What else? Spotify, Deezer, whatever. You'll find it. So we do go over everything that's in the news every day, and like I say, we were talking about Stellar Sports yesterday. So the Leipzig situation, from what I do understand, is that the personal terms have been agreed. Now, you should never get excited when someone says personal terms have been agreed. If you read that, you might think, oh, nice one, that's great, it's on. Well, it's a good sign because personal terms have been agreed. However, an agent that's representing, his client may agree personal terms with 2 or 3 clubs, So just because a player has agreed personal terms doesn't mean that a deal is going to happen. But the personal terms have been agreed. Usually they're agreed before a club goes in and puts a bid in anyway, because what's the point of bidding for a player if you're miles away on the kind of salary they want? So, but we understand personal terms are agreed. The player wants to play for Liverpool, he wants to make the transfer to Liverpool, but it sounds like it's all been held up over the structure of the deal, how that will be paid, how that transfer fee will be paid. Now, I've seen some people saying, well, no, it's all agreed, mate, it's all done. They're just waiting for the Bundesliga season to end, which I believe is this weekend. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I do not follow German football, but I do believe it's this weekend. And maybe we will see something after then. It wouldn't make sense to announce a deal beforehand, but look, as far as I'm concerned, the people that I trust, the people that I listen to, the people that I would advise you to listen to, are all saying it's close, but it's not done. There's still some things to iron out. And what does that mean? That, and then of course a medical, of course. Let's hope he passes that. Now, what is of interest as well is that Leipzig are looking at Ozan Kabak as going in as a replacement. Now, the suggestion is that Liverpool probably won't take up the option to sign Kabak for 18 million. I think, was it 18 million pounds? I think it's 18 million pounds, isn't it? This summer. But people, or his camp, if you like, are saying that they haven't been notified by Liverpool as yet. So I guess anything could happen on that front. But it does sound like Leipzig are saying, well, hang on, let's get him in, because obviously Konate is going to go to Liverpool. That's what everyone thinks anyway. I don't know if I've really summed up everything that I wanted to tell you there. Yeah, the release clause is probably going to be around the 30 million mark. It was as high as 35. And that's about it really, guys. So I think this one's going to go through. I know some people are a little bit concerned about his injuries and stuff like that. But I'm sure the boss knows what he's doing, doesn't he? I mean, he's never signed any players before with injury problems, has he? No, anyway, look, I like this kid, and he's obviously been on the radar for a long time. But it is interesting, isn't it, that they say that Liverpool's got 5, players, defenders on a short list. That's quite a big short list, I think. Or is that part of the game? Is that part of the game in terms of because you're not going to say to Leipzig, we're desperate for him, so it's fine. We've got another 4 players we can look at, and it's obvious who some of them players are going to be, So yeah, that's it. Basically, the video was to say, I don't believe that the deal is completely done. He's done at the time, and that they're just waiting for the Bundesliga season to conclude. Even if they announce it the next day, I still won't believe it, because people this week, only 2 days ago, are saying that the terms of the way the deal would be structured, that transfer fee, have not been agreed. So I imagine right now, while you're watching this video, right, I reckon right now, Liverpool are going, come on, stop fucking around, let's get this done, let's get this done, let's get the season ended, let's get it all, because they're going to, Leipzig need to move on from this. The minute the season concludes, or any Premier League, any season, be it the Premier League, Bundesliga, whatever, that's the past, that season's gone. And the next day, you start your recruitment ready for the new campaign. So I would imagine that Leipzig and Liverpool want to get this done as quickly as possible. However, Liverpool are currently saying we're not paying it all in one go. Who will win, who knows? But I imagine some kind of deal will be structured that will suit all parties. But Liverpool, I tell you what, you've got to give it to Edwards. He won't be bullied into doing something he doesn't want to do. Simple as that. All right. So that was my little update that I wanted to talk to you about. If you follow the KopTalk podcast, you'd know this sort of stuff anyway, because we talk about these things multiple times a week, really. And that's about it. All right. So I want to make some more videos. I'm quite conscious that I haven't been making a lot of videos recently, but that's because I've not really been enjoying the football. And it would be very easy for me to come on here and patronise you and pretend I'm all, like some super fan and that, because I'm not. If I'm a plastic fan, I don't give a fuck. I'm a granddad, I don't care what anyone thinks, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be honest with you, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I say to you, look guys, I'm not enjoying it without the fans, simple as that. However, the fans are starting to get back in the stadiums now, so it's starting to feel a bit more authentic for me. You might be different, you might have different opinions. I know I'm not on my own with this. So for me, I've been looking forward to next season. That's all I'm looking forward to is next season. I'm looking forward to the Euros. I just want the fans back in the stadiums again. That's all I want. And I miss the football, and I miss the daily crack with you guys a lot. But I am still here. I'm still here. I still do the podcast. I'm working on the KopTalk website 7 days a week. I'm here, guys. I just find it very difficult to come on here and pretend to be enthusiastic when I'm not. I won't patronise you like that. And what I will say is, obviously now, people keep saying to me, the big question at the moment, right, is, will we get top 4? And it's like, I'm so nervous, trust me, guys, I care. I'm just like, I don't really watch it, but will I be watching it? Well, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to get my hopes up when it comes to stuff. I've discussed this many times before. I'm very much like, it won't happen, because then if it fucking does, you can go mental. Because if you then start saying we're going to do it, whatever it is, like finishing top 4 or winning a cup final or something, and then it doesn't happen, I end up being even more depressed. Does that make sense? So it's just the way I'm like that in life with everything. All right. So for me, I'm just I'm keeping my mouth shut, which is quite difficult for me. But I'm a little bit excited in the background. I'm like, come on, you fucking come. Trust me, guys, it's still all right. That's what I tell all the girls. Anyway, covered in bits and pieces. And obviously, I'm in my little studio today, where I record my podcast. Is a different room, and but it's starting to get very hot here now. And this room's got the best aircon in it, so I'm going to be in here more often, so there will be more videos. Every time I do a video, I go, I promise you there'll be more videos this week, but then I'm like, what are we going to talk about, And I know for a fact that people are not into the football as much as normally. I know this. How do I know this? Because I've run a football website for 23 fucking years, and everyone's telling me, So fair play to those of you that can sit there and watch it. I just can't. I can't. Yes, and that does mean I did not see the Alisson goal. See, I've missed out. Can you imagine if that had been a normal... I'd have lost it. So if you actually watched that game and you celebrated his goal at the end, I envy you, because I didn't. And it's such a rarity for something like that to happen, and so important. It was such an important goal. It wasn't just a goal in another game, and it wasn't just an ordinary game that you had to win. And the fact it was the dying seconds of the game, I feel like I missed out. I feel like I was robbed. But it's my own daft fault, innit? So if you did get to see it, I hope you enjoyed it. If I'd have seen that in real time, fuck me. I'd have been running. I'd still be running around the street now. Well, maybe not that much, because I only run that much when there's an ice cream van around or the police. But you know what I'm saying. And when I heard about it, because I didn't follow the game live, I was in bed with an hangover, actually. When I heard about it, I watched the highlights and everything. I was like, fucking hell. And I was talking to my mates yesterday in the pub, you know, I meet my mates on a Monday and a Friday, and we were talking about it. You know, one of them's a Liverpool fan, one's an Arsenal fan, one's Newcastle. Well, there was only three of us, but we had a good little natter about it, you know, and we were talking about how class that header was. I mean, he didn't just like off his head like some stupid goalkeeper. It was like a proper centre forwards goal, wasn't it? And sorry, I was just swallowing. And that's what I was going to say something really rude then. That's what Ali McCoy was saying. He said it was a fucking proper centre forwards goal. I mean, amazing. And the lads' interview afterwards. You know, it's been an hard time, hasn't it, guys, this pandemic? It's been hard, you know, for many of us. I've struggled with it a couple of times, without a doubt. Depression earlier this year, which fed up to hell, but I feel in a really good place now, and I'm starting to see like light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, for me, football's my release from all the normal shit. Do you know what I mean? So when you haven't got the football, what have you got? But the fans are getting back now. The fans are back. You know, just seeing the fans get in the stadium again. Oh, God. Do you miss it, guys? Do you miss it? Do you miss when you watch Liverpool play? I know those of you that still watch the games, right? Fair play to you, right? I think that's amazing. See, when I watch a proper game, when I say proper, I mean with all the fans in and everything, I have a short attention span. If it's a boring game, I end up being on this more than what I'll be like that. You know, I get bored. It's like when I watch a film, if it's not a good film, I'm like that. Fuck this shit. I genuinely feel it really difficult to relax. So that's why I can't watch it, you know, with nobody in the stadiums. Anyway. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're watching the football without the fans, right, and you're enjoying it, you're getting on with it, how excited are you about the fans coming back though? Do you miss that, like, Anfield packed? You know, the chants, the flags, see, I like it when ball goes out, right? And you've got like the opposition player goes to get it, and then you'll see someone at front row going, fuck. I love all that, mate. See, and especially when there's a foul or something. And I just think it influences a game so much. You know, it can influence a referee's decision. You know, and I just miss it. I miss the game, but I think we're getting there, guys. Anyway, I'm waffling on. All I wanted to say to you was, I am here. I'm here all the time. I'm here every day. Trust me. Check the podcast, because the podcast is a bit like this, but you don't have to see me fat face. So there's a bonus every cloud. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a new campaign. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that more than anything. But right now, even though I'm not enjoying the football, I'm keeping an eye on that top. I'll be fucking here if it happens, because we need it, don't we, guys? We need it. You know, we need that coin. We need that money. We need that glamour. We really do. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll catch you in a bit. I hope I explained what I meant about the Konate thing. Okay, a lot of people making very different claims. He did remove his. What did he move from his Instagram on his profile? He removed that he was a Leipzig player from his profile. I think it'll happen, guys. I think it'll happen. I'd be very surprised if it didn't. Put it that way. But it is, as far as I'm aware, just purely based now on how that transfer fee will be paid. Alright, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment. I read all the questions, and if you'd like to, you know, support the channel, you can click join below. And shout out to those of you that do support this channel and have remained faithful with me and supported me during these like pretty boring months, really. Do you know what I mean? We'll be back, guys. We'll be back. The game will be back, and we will be back. I'll speak to you in a bit.